this fantasy. Don't worry, it's not tabloid material. The Prime Minister of Israel calls me up, Steve, because in my fantasy, we're on a first name basis. Says we got Damascus surrounded and you're the only one who can do it, but we have to parachute you in behind enemy lines. So there I am, downtown Damascus, starving hungry, ready for the battle of my life, and there's nothing to eat except McDonald's, and they've got a special and cheeseburgers, fries, and a milkshake. Now, for those unfamiliar with Jewish law, normally speaking, you're not allowed that stuff. But when your life is on the line and you could die through malnutrition, it's perfectly permissible. In fact, you have to do it. Virtually all the mitzvahs of the Torah go out the window when human life is being threatened. With that in mind, this week's Parsha is fascinating because it has this very unusual mitzvah that before you go into battle, make sure not to chop down or roll over with your Sherman tanks the fruit trees. I want to picture how surreal this is. General Patton is interrogating a Nazi officer. Tell me where Hitler's bunker is, and are these fruit trees or not? There is a truth of humanity. Despite tremendous evidence to the contrary, everybody thinks they think. Telling somebody to please think is a complete waste of your time, and in fact is evidence that you aren't thinking. Einstein was famously quoted as saying there are two things that are infinite: the universe and man's stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. The Torah, in complete recognition of this, sets up tools and processes that help us think. So before you go into battle, where your greatest weapon is the ability to think, the Torah says, figure it out. Is this a fruit tree or not a fruit tree? And I should point out for those people like me who are not farmers, it isn't so easy to tell, because most of the year, when there is no fruit on the tree, it's not so obvious which kind of tree it is. Similarly, you can't have that cup of coffee in the morning without having to wonder, which kind of spoon can I use to stir the milk? Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch pointed out that the word for bread, lechem, is the core of the word milchama, which means war. Because earning a living is a battle. There's no such thing as an easy war. There's no such thing as an easy living. This is, by the way, why before you eat bread, you have to wash your hands. Because there are two ways to fight a battle and earn a living. The clean way, and that's symbolized by washing your hands, and the other way. And therefore, the most important asset you have that will bring you to success is your capacity to think. Nothing is better to achieve that than spending as much time as you can afford in Jewish learning. It's all about thinking things through. In a world where people don't think, those who do have a tremendous advantage.